Hey, my name is Marcus Friend, and these are Friendly Stories. Today, Friendly Story comes with a disclaimer. The disclaimer is there is no moral to this story, and quite frankly, that is because there is no hero to this story. The story is still about me. It is still very much about me. However, I'm just not a cool person. I know this about myself. I came to grips with this a long time ago about myself, and this story will illustrate that to a T. So let's get right into it. There was once a point in time where I was on a campout. I was on a campout with a group of young boys, and these boys were training to scout future lands, if you catch my drift. So anyways, we were on this campout, and all the younger campers got taken out by the older campers. And we built this big bonfire, and we were having an amazing time, and we all felt so cool. And the older campers sat us all down and told us this story. They told us a story about an ancient warrior who, every full moon, would come back to life because he was dead. He was an ancient warrior. He was a great warrior in his day, but now he was dead because time had passed. Time was the one enemy he could not defeat. But every full moon, he rose from the grave and stood on a bridge. And why did he stand on this bridge? To protect the fallen spirits of his comrades. Apparently, we were camping right next to what was an ancient graveyard. You can't see it. I'm doing air quotes. I'm going to animate that. Air quotes. There was this great warrior, and he would come to the bridge to protect his fallen comrades. And it was very simple. If you did not respect this ancient warrior, he would mess you up. He would mess you up in ways that only ghosts were able to mess you up. And we were like, it's a ghost story, whatever. We're too cool to listen to ghost stories. Because here's the thing. We had crossed a bridge to get to where we were at, but we crossed it in the daytime. And it was now nighttime. And you want to guess what the moon was? Yep, it was full. So anyways, the older campers put out the fire. All the older campers tell us that they're not going to disrespect the burial ground of the ancient warriors because it's a full moon and the ghost of the ancient warrior is protecting them. So they all took the long way around. Now, to explain the campground layouts to you really quickly, you could hike for a quarter of a mile if you went across the bridge and be right back at the base camp. Or you could take a 1.5 mile route around this bridge to another overpass, which was like a scout-built bridge, and it wasn't that sturdy, and it was also really far away, and it was late, and we wanted to go to bed. So between the two options, it would seem smarter to take the bridge, right? Because nobody believes in ghosts. We're all too cool to believe in ghosts. So me and the younger campers were all like, whatever, man, we're going to go across the bridge. You older campers are obviously just messing with us. So we start walking, and we get to the bridge, and it's a full moon. Now, the legend said that you knew you had disrespected the ghost because you would hear a hollow wa-thud, wa-thud coming from the bridge. And what that meant is the ghost saw you, and he was acknowledging you. And if you took one more step forward after hearing that wa-thud, wa-thud, then that meant you challenged him to a duel. And who is capable of dueling a ghost? Nobody. Nobody is capable of dueling a ghost. So if you hear that wa-thud, wa-thud, what that meant, you now have the chance to walk away. But here's the thing. You can't just walk away from a ghost, because if you turned your back and walked away, that was disrespectful. So the only way that you could walk away from this ghost and not have him mess you up in a ghostly manner was to get down on your hands and knees and crawl away. But if you heard wa-thud, wa-thud while you were crawling away, that meant you had no choice but to fight him, which means there was only one option left. Our older campers gave us one more solution. That solution was very simple. If you hear that sound again after you've already gotten down on your hands and knees, the only option you have left to do is to try and trick the ghost. And the way you trick the ghost of an ancient warrior is to convince him that you're a pig. And the way you convince him that you are a pig is you strip down to your underwear, you pee yourself. This is a thing. This was a thing, people. This was a story that I got told as a young camper. So, we're walking home. It's a full moon. We get to the bridge. We're like, should we cross this? And of course, we're all too cool. We're all too cool to admit that we're actually scared. So one of my buddies comes up with this great idea. He goes, guys, wouldn't it be great if the older campers were watching us right now? Let's all get on our hands and knees and pretend that we're scared. That way it'll be our joke. Like, we're like, yeah, oh, that's great. That's a smart idea. Yeah, let's do that. So we all get down on our hands and knees and we start crawling towards the bridge. And we hear it. We hear the What thud? What thud? Guys, did you hear that? I heard that. You know what would be funny? What would be funny? What would be so funny is if we stripped down to our boxers and crawled across the bridge, just because like they'll think we're scared, but we're not. Like, yeah, no, that's a great idea. That's great. Let's do that. Let's do that. So we strip down and we crawl across this bridge, and this white glowing figure steps out from behind a tree in full samurai costume. Full samurai costume, white glowing figure, 5 young campers all on our hands and knees in only our boxers. And he has this huge staff, and he smacks the bridge twice. What thud? What thud? And we're just like, dude, it's the ghost. I know it's the ghost. Keep it together, man. I can't keep it together. It's the ghost. He's right there. He's in the samurai costume and everything else. What dude, just keep quiet and keep crawling. Hold it together and crawl. Just crawl. It was totally our camp master. He was in costume, and I'm not going to pretend that I kept it together. I kept it together a little bit better than one other individual because the legend said you needed to pee yourself. He kind of went above and beyond. I'm just not a cool person. My name is Marcus Friend, and this has been My Friendly Story. I'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye.